Hey guys, it's Captain Forest here, and today I'm going to be going over who I think wins more often not, Mr. Mxy versus pre-Retcon Beyonder. Now this matchup of course was requested and purchased. That's why I'm going to be doing this matchup. If you guys are interested in seeing a Marvel or DC matchup being featured on the channel, hit up the Cash App, hit me up on Discord, we can talk more about that. But anyway, make sure you check out the Coffee Shop Gang. Huge shout out to them. Their link shall be in the description. Also, a massive shout out to my boy Korin O'Keefe. He was a massive help in this video, of course. Would not be possible without him. Shouts to Benjamin, KKrimbus, the gang. They've been helping me throughout some time for the videos. Much appreciated. But yeah, all my links will be in the description. Check those out if you guys would like support. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and talk about Mr. Mxy and get right into the scaling. So in terms of the AP for Mr. Mxy, in order to determine where his AP would be for Mr. Mxy, we need to go over some of the cosmology. We have the bleed being on the same level as or even above the time stream. This is showcased by the monitors when inside the time stream they state that the bleed is something they can't see or control. This means that even beings that exist on the same level as the time stream is actually below the bleed. Now for why this is impressive is that we have seen consistent statements for the time stream as being beyond time and space, and it was also stated as being unaffected by the confines of time and dimensions. Now for the second way to get the bleed to Ultraversal, the bleed itself also contains the Rock of Eternity, which is consistently shown to be beyond space and time, with it also existing in all possible dimensions, showing that the true form of it is not just beyond normal space-time. As the bleed surrounds and contains everything in the orrery, it should contain the Shining Tower, which is stated to be located in the middle of existence, and the Shining Tower contains the concept of a concept. Now to summarize this, the bleed is Ultraversal as it at least exists on the same level as the time stream, while also containing the Rock of Eternity and the Shining Tower. Far beyond the bleed is the Sphere of the Gods. You may be wondering how far beyond the bleed is into it. Well, as mentioned in my Superman vs Hulk video, the Sphere of the Gods is conceptually beyond the bleed, as it's been described as a platonic archetypal world, the great realm of archetypal powers and intelligences. We established this as being in the Ultraversal ballpark before, due to conceptually transcending a high hyperversal structure, aka the bleed. However, applying the Ultraversal scaling that was presented for the bleed, the Sphere of the Gods skyrockets up to high Ultraversal ballpark. And of course, after the Sphere of the Gods, we have Limbo, which is at least infinitely to inaccessibly beyond the Sphere of the Gods, followed by the Monitor Sphere. The Monitor Sphere is an archetypal realm and a fundamental world where everything is more profound and absolute, and was described as a realm of nothingness beyond the multiverse. The bleed, the Sphere of the Gods, and even Limbo, which means it's conceptually beyond everything I previously mentioned. In other words, the Monitor Sphere is a high Ultraversal realm. If we go with the scaling mentioned in Superman vs Hulk, it's a realm conceptually beyond high Ultraversal realms with the scaling that I've already applied in the versus matchup. Keep in mind, both scales are accurate. You see, I like to provide accurate versatility for my audience and give you folks multiple accurate ways to go about it. Now, as showcased in previous videos, all of creation exists inside the fourth dimension. Then we have the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension is described as existing everywhere, and that it's outside of time, which is the name of the fourth dimension. Mr. Mxy in particular has shown himself to scale directly to the fifth dimension, destroying it without any effort in World's Funniest. This all makes sense when you consider that Mr. Mxy is one of the strongest, if not the strongest, fifth dimensional imp. So overall, depending on where you have certain placements in the cosmology. If we use the scaling that I mentioned back in my Superman versus Immortal Hulk video, and we only have the God Sphere outer versal, Mxy would only be one infinite to inaccessible transcendence into high outer versal. However, since I am including like higher scaling for the God Sphere at high outer versal and continuing the scaling chain from then on, Mr. Mxy would be conceptually beyond high outer versal, aka boundless. Now as for speed, he easily has irrelevant speed due to him being high outer versal. Now let's move on to some hacks and all that good stuff. So Mr. Mxy is well known for his plot hacks. He's demonstrated this ability to go outside of the comic itself. He can manipulate physics, and he also was able to make Superman to where he was just a fictional Toon Force character. Mxy gave his power to Emperor Joker, and Emperor Joker used that power to turn the Justice League into his own image. This just goes to show what Mxy is capable of doing to people, which is demonstrated through Joker's actions, which is still impressive. And it's also been demonstrated in Justice League 2018. Mr. Mxy has shown to completely unmake the art and plot of the comic, which is very impressive. Mr. Mxy can also use reality warping, such as being able to give inanimate objects such as buildings and cars life. He was able to do this to which were cars, the Justice League. Mr. Mxy's reality warping is so potent that it's even able to reality warp John Stewart's hand and lantern ring, turning it into a giant boxing glove, and then he proceeds to dissolve his arm into particles. So that's going to round up Mxy. Let's talk about the Beyonder. As we know, the Beyonder was stated to be larger than the multiverse in size and to be more powerful than all its entities combined. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go over why this is very impressive. For starters, this includes the 7th iteration of Multi-Eternity. The 7th Multi-Eternity and his totality isn't just a high hyperversal structure. No, it's far beyond that. As I've mentioned in previous videos, the totality of a single universe is a high hyperversal structure. The regular multiverse, or deep space, you could say, is literally an Aleph transfinite number, greater than an infinite amount of high hyperversal structures. However, this isn't the totality of Multi-Eternity. You see, Multi-Eternity contains other conceptual entities and is vastly superior to them. Conceptual entities such as Lord Chaos, Master Order, and the In-Betweener, to name a few. In-Betweener himself embodies all dualistic concepts, while simultaneously walking between them and transcending them. Lord Chaos and Master Order are easily in the same tier as In-Betweener. Higher in the tier though, placing all three of them in the outerversal ballpark, and they are beneath the totality of eternity. Oh, but it doesn't stop there. We can't forget about the Living Tribunal. The Living Tribunal is the complete embodiment of the multiverse and of all its abstract entities. As such, even the likes of eternity, infinity, and death are just a part of his being, embodying all the abstract entities while simultaneously transcending them. Everything I just mentioned is a microbe to the Beyonder, and it's so indistinguishable from his mind that it might as well be one in his imagination. Even after the Beyonder placed much of his power in a cup, he was still stated to be more than every other cosmic being combined, which included the Living Tribunal. Now let's talk about the realm the Beyonder embodies, aka the Beyond Realm. Comparing the totality of the multiverse to the Beyond Realm would be like comparing a drop of water to an entire ocean. Essentially, everything I previously mentioned is a drop of water in comparison to the Beyond Realm. Don't worry though, there's more to come. There's still one more character that we need to talk about. A character who is mightier than all other beings of the multiverse. That's right folks, I'm talking about Molecule Man. Superior to the Living Tribunal, but still falls short in battle with the Beyonder. How short did he fall? You might be wondering. Well, in the words of Molecule Man himself, the Beyonder transcends on power levels unimaginable, to Molecule Man, who directly compared the power difference between them with himself and Captain America. We've already established that Molecule Man is more powerful than the Living Tribunal, who transcends outer-versal abstracts. Molecule Man is outer-versal compared to Captain America, who is a three-dimensional life form. So Molecule Man is beneath the Beyonder to the same degree that Captain America is beneath Molecule Man, which means the Beyonder is conceptually beyond Molecule Man, just like Molecule Man is conceptually beyond Captain America, making the Beyonder in Secret Wars 1 and 2 a high outer-versal powerhouse. Now we can also get the Beyonder even higher into high outer-versal if we include the totality of eternity scaling. So it's noted by Cubic to have power unimaginable to the Beyonder. This is the Beyonder that became a cosmic cube. Then we have the cosmic cube being Cosmos, that is Beyonder and Molecule Man together, being told they are above most cosmic embodies, including the in-betweener. We are later told that higher manifestations of embodies are greater infinities compared to Cosmos and Cubic. Using this, we can say that the difference between each embody is more than the unimaginable difference between the cosmic cube, Beyonder and Cubic, and the fact that Cubic says there are levels to infinity, implying all of them exist, means that the gap is so massively between cosmic embodies, which means that it happens more than an infinite number of times before you can get to their true form. Now the gap between each concept being an unimaginable difference should be greater than that of the in-betweener, the concept of concepts, making each gap an outer-versal difference with infinite outer-versal levels, each surpassing the other. The true form of embodies would be high outer-versal on Mxyzptlk standards, as by considering it's a realm of true concepts in comparison to embodies by lesser concepts, you can say it's high outer-versal by character stats and profile definition too. So overall, for Beyonder's AP scaling, since I am including the 7th Cosmos scaling, the Eternity scaling, this would mean that Beyonder is conceptually beyond high outer-versal, aka boundless. Moving on from AP, let's talk about the versatility that the Beyonder brings to the table. For starters, he can subject all individuals to his will with a mere thought. This dude can control every atom and molecule that exists. We've seen the Beyonder use his own power to destroy the concept of death across the entire multiverse, as well as recreate it. Although he stated that he would have trouble bringing back death, this is contradicted by the fact that after he placed much of his power in a cup to destroy the entity, he was still stated to be stronger than every other cosmic being in the room combined, which included the likes of the Living Tribunal. Furthermore, he managed to bring death back with Dave's sacrifice relatively easily. Now, in terms of resistances, conceptual entities are unable to affect the Beyonder with their abilities and nature, which gives him resistance to multiple conceptual hexes, which includes, but isn't limited to, conceptual death manipulation, conceptual chaos manipulation, conceptual suffering and pain manipulation, and conceptual law manipulation. Let's not forget, the true nature of the Beyonder embodies a realm of pure nothingness, aka the Beyond Realm. Okay, now going over pretty much the AP, and who I think would take AP more often than not, I'd have to go over a few things. Now, depending on which cosmology and what scaling you use for each individual character, it could pretty much turn the pace of the fight. So, for example, as I mentioned before, for Mxy, so if you only use the lower end scaling, so pretty much just having the God Sphere outer and the one infinite to inaccessible transcendence into high outer-versal, and you give Beyonder his Secret Wars 1 and 2 scaling on top of his 7th Cosmos scaling, his Eternity scaling, Beyonder would literally just one-shot Mr. Mxy. He'd one-shot him, he'd take care of him. His hexes are just way too potent. And plus Mxyz wouldn't be able to do anything to him. He wouldn't have the AP. If you pretty much do the exact opposite and you reward Mr. Mxyz his boundless scaling, then Mr. Mxyz would pretty much take victory against Beyonder if he just only had his Secret Wars 1 and 2 scaling and no 7th Cosmos scaling implemented. But even if you give them both boundless scaling, both their really good stuff, I still have to lean a little bit more so with Mxyz. Just has a little bit more quantification into AP. I think Mr. Mxyz takes AP a little bit more from what I've seen more often than not. But yeah, there's definitely ways that you can get Beyonder above Mxyz depending on, you know, how you go about the cosmology. And plus in character, especially with Mxyz having the AP, I just think Mxyz's like mind games and hexes and trickery, especially how the Beyonder works in character, how he's very curious and he will play along. I just think Mr. Mxyz would just set up everything to the point where he just take victory more often than not, especially with his plot hacks and his reality warping. The plot hacks is probably one of Mxyz's biggest win cons. He just do whatever he wanted to the Beyonder. So overall, I have to give this to the Beyonder more often than not. But thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoy my content, leave a like, comment down below. Let me know who you think wins. But yes, check out those links in the description, and I'll see you guys on the next one.